Hey guys, welcome to my day 23 foundation review. I'm going to put the Tarte BB Blur Tinted Moisturizer with SPF 30 through a long night of wear at work for over 12 hours. I will be using my most reliable primer, powders, and setting sprays, but I'm also going to sprinkle in a few new products so we can test them out too. I will quickly go over each product I used to create today's look, and I'll show you the application. Again, most of these products are my tried and true go-tos. I reach for these because they have proven to last on my combo oily skin. Before we get started, make sure that you have subscribed so you don't miss out on all my other foundation reviews. We have a good time here. I love to share my thoughts on everything beauty related. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or just to be nice. Alright, let's get started. I always start with skincare, and then I'll curl my lashes with a heated Surratt lash curler. I went ahead and put everything on screen, that way you can see what I used. I used the Rare Beauty Brow Gel, which is my absolute favorite. I just take whatever's on the applicator and comb it through my brows. I brush them backwards and forwards until most of the product is off of the spoolie, and then I lay my brow hairs down by pressing upward. This stuff is incredible. I also use the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist eye primer to lock in my eyeshadow all night long. This gives my eyelids a little bit of coverage and a smooth base for me to work with when it comes to applying my shadows. I blend one eye at a time because it dries pretty quickly. I like to use this Laura Lee Los Angeles brush to blend it out, but any small blending brush will work. Once that's spread out, I'll use the Real Techniques Miracle Concealer Sponge to press it in. This just ensures no creases, and then I set it down lightly with powder so that the matte eyeshadows will blend easier. I am so close to using this powder up. For an everyday eye look, one of my favorite palettes is the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes. I have purchased another one, but I will definitely be using this one up. I grabbed some of my favorite brushes from Morphe and BK Beauty, but I'm going to start with the BK212 brush to blend this light peachy shade in my crease as a transition shade. I like to focus most of the pigment on the outer part of my crease, and then I'll slowly blend it inward. When I'm happy with the blend, I switch to this lighter matte shade on the same 212 brush to blend under my brow. One of my newer favorite brushes is the 331 from Morphe. I use that to pick up this warmer brown matte, and I tap it on the outer V. After I tap most of the pigment off the brush, then I start to blend it into my crease. And then I take the BK Nikki La Rose N13 brush with nothing on it, and I just go back in and blend everything seamlessly. I really like to take my time and get a good blend. If I notice any areas that need a little bit more work, I will go back in and build up the color. I'm taking the transition shade again to intensify the crease a little bit more. Now I want to start on my wing with this Morphe 383 brush. I'm taking a darker brown matte to softly blend on my upper lash line. But you will notice I tap at the base of my lashes and then blend up into where the outer V and transition shade meet. Now I like to take the BK A504 brush with nothing on it and really soften that shade and drag it out a little bit. Now I take the BK208 Precise Liner brush and I go into the deepest matte brown shade in the palette, and I'm going to focus this on my lash line. I do tapping motions at first to minimize fallout, and then I'll start to drag it out. I like to go ahead and clean up with a wipe so I can see exactly where I need to perfect anything, but sometimes you just have to hurry and move on. I'm jumping to eyeliner now. This is my new favorite. It's the MAC Costa Riche liner. It's a beautiful warm chocolate brown. I put this in my upper waterline and the base of my upper lash line. I always use the NYX glitter glue, but you don't need much. I will sometimes just tap it in with my finger, but I also like to use this old Morphe brush to be more precise. And just because I wanted something a little bit more warm today, I pulled out the Patrick Ta Eye Illusion Duo in the shade Do You Know Who I Am. I tapped this lighter gold shade on my lid, but I saved room on the inner corner for an even lighter gold shade. And for that, I took the duo We Need Better Lighting. This gold shade is so pretty. I mean, they all are, but I really like the two gold shades that I used today. Same thing, I just tap it on the inner corner. After looking at it, I thought it could use an even lighter shade to make the inner corner pop, so I mixed two shades from the palette and the silver shade from We Need Better Lighting. This is one of my favorite looks to do. It really makes my blue eyes pop. Now that the eyeshadow is complete, I take the Danessa Myricks Water Powder Serum, and I use about 4 drops. I like to focus this mostly in the T-zone, but whatever you do, make sure that you spread it in and press it in really well. I have been using this Clio Kill Lash Bouncy Lash, which has a very unique curved wand, for a couple weeks now. I do like it, but I have to say that the Super Proof in the black packaging is my favorite. It gives more lift and volume. If you haven't tried that one yet, you really should. It's around $14. My absolute holy grail primer is the Caliray So Blown Blurring Primer. Using this with the Danessa Myricks really helps keep my oils under control. This stuff was made for combo skin. To give that time to dry down, I go ahead and fill in my brows using the Covergirl Clean Fresh Nano Pencil in the shade Medium Brown. I love how precise this pencil is. It's a really nice formula as well, and it's very similar to the Benefit Detailer pencil that I love. Alright, it's time to talk about the Day 23 foundation. Well, it's actually a tinted moisturizer, but you just wait, this stuff is incredible. I purchased this set from QVC for $42. You can buy this from Tarte, Sephora, or Ulta, but at QVC you do get this brush for free. There are 15 shades in the full-size 1 ounce, or they do have a mini 10 ml size for $18. But they only have 4 shades available in the mini size. I have the shade Light Medium, and it's actually a really good match for me. I took this on vacation, and I ended up wearing it most of the days. I like to just spread it around with my fingers, but I also wanted to show you this brush in action so you can see if it's something that you're interested in. I think it did a good job, but I prefer the coverage level I get with my fingers. This claims to be a light coverage with a natural finish, ideal for normal, dry, or combo skin. This Triple B complex is a blend of natural diamond powder, plant, and amino acids that help diffuse light and minimize the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and pores, while improving skin's luminosity. It also claims the formula will help control oil breakthrough. I took the leftover product on my Stands Out sponge to press it in, and then I realized that I needed some more coverage around my brows and nose, so I took a little bit more on the small end of the IT Cosmetics No. 7 brush and carefully blended that into all the hard-to-reach areas. For cream bronzer today, I wanted to try out this new Morphe Sudden Heat Creamy Bronzer Stick in the shade Ignite. This shade is a little bit too warm for what I like, but it is definitely creamy and easy to blend. Then to contour my nose and lip, I used the Morphe Shapelifter Contour Stick in the shade Refined. I went ahead and added some to my forehead and cheeks because I thought it might help give more depth. I love this product for nose and lip contour. It's perfection. I'm using the 112 brush from BK Beauty to blend it out. This brush blends anything out beautifully, but I will say this looked great. Adding the contour shade really helped neutralize that warmth from the bronzer. I always reach for my Patrick Ta Nose Contour Brush because it's truly the best. I was so excited to finally try this Too Faced Cloud Crush Whipped Lip and Cheek Blush in the shade Milk and Cookies. I'm taking the Makeup by Mario F1 brush directly into the product in my hand and then tapping it on my cheek. At first I thought it looked patchy, but you have to keep blending. Just use tapping or stippling motions. I wanted to see if I could build it up, so I went in one more time, and once it was blended out, I could definitely see that blurring quality to it, and I love the shade. It's not exactly what I thought it would be, but it is gorgeous. And now I'm taking the Caliray Under Eye Corrector in the shade Golden Hour. I just do one dot in the inner corner and blend it with the small side of that F1 brush. You can totally get away with just using the Caliray if you want more light coverage, but I enjoy adding the Ritual Defy Soft Sorcery Concealer, and I have it in the shade Spell 121. This just gives a little bit more coverage and brightness. I also add this on my nose to highlight. I focus most of the product on the inside, and then just a couple dots on the outer portion of my under eyes. Using the same brush, I just tap it in place and then slowly drag it out. This concealer is great if you have dry under eyes, and the shade is perfect for me. I like to use this Real Techniques Miracle Concealer Sponge to further blend and pick up any excess. Is that not a stunning finish? I do have to set it, but I go very light-handed with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder in the shade 1 Fair. I start by pressing the puff in the center, and then I go towards the inner corner, and with whatever's left on the puff, I use out towards the outer edge. To really lock it in, brighten, and smooth, I use a small amount of the Uma Beauty Trip and Smooth powder in the shade Translucent. This is getting hard to find, but it is still available at JCPenney, and I'm sure they have it on their website too. Just look how smooth my under eyes are. To set all over, I use the Nakia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder. I have the original, but you can get unscented or the brightening shades. This powder controls my oil better than any other powder I have tried, and that's a lot of powders. I went in a little bit heavier than I normally do to ensure that this BB blur would last all night. I like to take this little powder brush from IT Cosmetics to softly dust the powder all over, and then I grabbed my Too Faced Chocolate Matte Bronzer on an F14 from Shop Miss A. I use stippling motions with my powders too, and I was hoping this shade might cool things down a little bit, but it actually pulls pretty warm on my skin. It's definitely deceiving. I'm very excited to be trying out the Revee Beauty Endless Diffusion Baked Blush in the shade Paradise. I'm using the Morphe M202 brush to blend it out. I will keep testing this out to give you an update, but my first impression wasn't that great. It has a sheen to it that made my texture come back through after I had blurred everything out. The shade's beautiful though. I decided to add the Tower 28 Get Set Blur and Set blush in the shade Long Beach Iced Tea just to see if that would smooth it out. Not that I needed any more blush, but it really did help. As a finishing powder, this is the best. It's technically the one-size versatile powder foundation in the shade Light 2N, but I use it to complete my looks. It gives a little bit more coverage, and it really helped smooth out my cheeks today. One more soft blend with the powder brush, and this is when I realized I had 15 minutes left before I had to leave for work. I grabbed my tried and true NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen in the shade Ash Brown to complete my brows and give them some more hair-like strokes. This brow pen is hard to beat, but I will try the new one from ABH soon. Okay, so as I'm walking into work, let me share the products I used on my way to work. At red lights. You gotta do what you gotta do. I used the Charlotte Tilbury and the One Size Until Dawn mattifying setting sprays, the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Contour Duo in the medium shade, MAC Cream de Nude Lipstick, Charlotte Tilbury Plumpgasm Nude Diamonds Gloss, and the Lancome Lash Idole Mascara on my lower lashes. Check-in number 1 is at 10 p.m., so roughly 4 hours. I noticed some patchiness and fading on one side just on my cheek. I thought everything else still looked great. I thought maybe I could have possibly touched my face without realizing, but then I quickly figured out that it was from my hair touching my face. Check-in number 2 is at midnight, around 6 hours in, and I'm starting to see a little bit of that shine breakthrough, but I was able to just press it in with my finger and I had nothing come off. Now this cheek, it kept getting worse throughout the night, but my hair covered it mostly, so I didn't really care. But if you look really close up, you can see some of my texture showing, but for a tinted moisturizer, you guys, I think this looks great. From a further distance, it still looks freshly applied. And now I'm going to show you my new badge reel because it's too cute not to share. Check-in number 3 is at 6 a.m. We are at 12 hours and it's still going strong. And I have got my second wind because it's almost time to go home. This Beauty Blender Pocket Puff is a lifesaver for me. I can use it to blot away the shine, and then I also like to use my Fenty Invisimatte powder, usually like once or twice a shift. I want you to watch how easy it is to fix the product that's bunching up by my nose. It just presses it right back in and there is no transfer. I'm actually quite shocked by how well this wore. And like I mentioned earlier, I used it while on vacation, but this is the first time that I'm trying it at work with all of my favorite products. Just a small amount of transfer from my hair on that one cheek, that's pretty incredible if you ask me. Alright, it's been a long night, let's go home. My final check-in is at 7:15 a.m. when I pulled into my driveway. I wasn't even going to film this, but check out this beautiful golden hour footage. Those Patrick Ta shimmers are stunning. And how the heck do I still look this good over 12 hours later? Well, I just showed you. So give this a try and let me know how it works for you in the comments. I'll see you guys in my next one. Have a great day.